Hi, everybody. It's Dr. Sasheen. Welcome to Tuesday Tea Break. It's been a while since I've seen everybody. If you catch this live, wave and say hi. Let me know you're here. If you catch the replay, that is okay as well. Just say hi in the comments. So, what is today? Today is Tuesday. It is our time of the week where we come together and we just take a break because the world has a lot going on in it. Things are happening. People are doing some peopling things, and sorry to make sure I'm live, and I am. People are doing some peopling things, and those peopling things can sometimes be overwhelming, just a bit overwhelming, and we need a break from those kind of things. So today is we are past the Lunar New Year. So happy Lunar New Year. So happy New Year to all of my friends who are following a different calendar. And for those of you who are like, what are you talking about? February 17th was the beginning of the lunar cycle, the next lunar year, and we're in the year of the horse. And if you don't follow those kind of things, then it probably means nothing to you. I do follow those kinds of things. So it was important. We actually left our Christmas tree up until Lunar New Year. We're going to be taking it down this weekend to celebrate both the Gregorian New Year calendar and basically the Chinese Zodiac New Year calendar of February 17th. So I have a cup of tea, a small one today, and conversation. What are you going to get up to this Lunar New Year? The cool thing about having a second New Year or the first New Year, depending on who you are and where you are, is that if you don't like what's been going on in January up till about February 17th, the energy has changed. It has shifted, and you have a chance to start again. You have a chance to start over and to reset, which is why I said at the beginning of the year, we're not making resolutions. We're not making resolutions. We're not making any of those kinds of things at the beginning of January because the energy isn't really ready for that. Now, as we get more into the spring of the year, not quite spring yet, but we're getting there. The earth is shifting and rotating and moving us back towards the sun. So, oh, good morning, Cicely. Oh, I hope that you're okay up there with all of the snow that is happening on the East Coast right now. So, um, I hope that you got some rest from digging out and that there isn't a ton more snow, but I hear more snow is coming. I hear more snow is coming. And I think we might get sideswiped by it with rain, but I definitely, my fingers are crossed that this one kind of slides more to the south and doesn't hit the East Coast again because y'all got a lot of snow up there. A lot of snow up there. So as I was saying, it's a nice time to think about what you want to accomplish for the next year. So the thing about Lunar New Year happening in mid-February this year, it's in February every year, is that it naturally the progression of the planet is starting to lean again, right? It's starting to drift back towards the sun. So the southern hemisphere is starting to lean a little bit further away. Us up in the north are starting to lean a little bit further towards. The days are going to start to get we're going to start to see them get longer. We're going to start to feel them get longer, right? So there's this energy shift that happens around this time of year. So the fact that Lunar New Year also happens to happen at this time of year, it all makes sense. So if you need a second New Year, um, if you feel like the January 1st feels arbitrary, it is arbitrary, but that's not the point. If you feel like January felt more like December, then mid-February, you get a chance to reset. And so I would encourage you to think about what the reset could look like. What could you now start to think about accomplishing? What energy do you want to pour into now that the calendar is moving in such a way that energetically and scientifically makes sense? Like I said, the southern hemisphere is starting to shift a little further away, so it's going to start to get colder. Their days are going to start to get shorter. The northern hemisphere is starting to shift a little bit towards the sun. Our days are going to start to get longer, and then we're going to start to return to the warmth. And because that very clear-cut scientific thing is happening, um, it's it just feels like the alignment this time of year is so powerful that we should use that energy to make some good plans. So I know I've been telling y'all to hold off on making any major plans for at least, a few weeks. Don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. And that was kind of my reason was don't do it when the energy isn't really aligning yet for a return to the light, to see some things more clearly, to see things more concretely. And now that we've crossed over and we're slowly progressing towards the equinox, right? The spring equinox, where equal day and equal night show up, and we are going to start really marching towards spring. Well, we're only a month away now. Now is the time to start thinking about what you want the next year to look like. So we put some garden beds out, oh, like not out, but we got some gardening stuff done this weekend. We moved some garden beds around to try and reposition them better for the sun. We tilled some ground because it's been unseasonably warm here in my neck of the woods, but it's not that kind of warmth where we're running around in shorts and a t-shirt. Even though some days it did get really warm, the ground is still cold. The ground is still holding the cold. So even though there's a warmth in the air, the ground is still pretty cold. But since our beds are above ground, we have the opportunity to do some gardening work and prep some things. So we did. We got some beds moved around, moved some things. There's been some tree removal in the past year, so now we've got some different pockets of stuff. Anyway, we had a chance to reimagine the garden, and so now we're working on repositioning the garden into the new thing. And it's that time of year, right? Even though we know winter's not done yet, it's not done yet. The East Coast would like to tell you all that winter is not done yet, but that sense of momentum, that shift in the energy, that is going to just continue. So now is a really great time to start thinking about what the rest of the year, or since we're at the beginning of it, could look like. What could the next 365 days produce for you that you want to see happen? Now is a good time to start making some resolutions. Now is a really good time to start breaking apart some problems and figuring out how to solve them. Now is a really good time to sit in the growing sunlight if you're in the northern hemisphere, the coming darkness if you're in the southern hemisphere, but to sit at that crossroads of energy and say, okay, listen, here's where I've been, here's where I'd like to be, and make some clear-cut plans. I like to use a planner. For those of you who've been hanging out with me long enough, I went back to a paper planner this year for the new year. I hadn't been on a paper planner in years. I mean, I remember when Franklin Covey was the thing and people were buying those huge Covey planners and they carried around these big old Covey planners. I don't necessarily need to carry around one of those things, but it struck me when I decided to go back to a paper planner. It struck me that one of the ways that we are so that life feels so sped up is because our phones are everything, right? They plug us into everything. They keep track of our appointments. They ding at us all the time. There's always notifications. Our calendar's in there. Our phone book's in there. Our contacts are in there. We use it as a computer. We use it as a phone. We use it as a listening device. We use it as a television. But right? And so when I was thinking about going not Luddite, because I wouldn't consider going back to paper planners Luddite, but going more low tech, unplugging a little bit. First of all, it feels really good. I'm not even gonna lie. I just pull out my little planner and I check the dates that I need to check and then I put it away. It doesn't ding at me, it doesn't talk to me. I can doodle in the margins. If I have a thought, I can whip it out and write it down and keep track of when I might have had that thought. But most importantly, it brought us a different kind of rhythm. And that's really key, right? This is a good time of the year to start thinking about what the rhythm of your life for the next 365 days could look like, and to begin to now set some things in the ground, right? To put some pillars in the ground of things that could help you. If you don't like the rhythm that has been your life for the past year, this is a good time to start thinking about changing it. Hey, Carol. Yes, Carolyn, I am back. I was gone for a couple of weeks. I had a little bit of a scare the past couple of weeks, but I am back in the saddle and we are here. And I'm talking about planning, planning and the good shift that we are now into the year of the horse. If you follow the Chinese New Year, and I do, into this particular zodiac, and now how now is a really good time. Now is a good moment to start thinking about the rhythm of your year. So, um, like I was saying, it's when I decided to hit that paper planner, I really wasn't thinking that it would impact my day the way that it has, but it really makes a difference to sit down with my planner and look at what I've got going on at a glance right? They have the at a glance page, and then they have the all the little pages for the month that I've been writing things in. That slowing down and becoming a little more deliberate has been it's not even it's not a huge change, but I can feel the change. I can feel the difference in my rhythm. And I think that's so important because for me, the year of the horse, so in the Chinese zodiac, I'm an ox. I'm an ox. Um, and so the year of the horse for me, because the horse is about so much, it's the year of the fire horse, so much energy. I am going to have to be very deliberate in how I use my year because I'm the kind of person who likes to plan the work and work the plan and can sometimes get lost in the details of things. I'm really good at that. Detail work is really something I'm really, really good at. But sometimes when you're so good at the details, you miss the bigger picture. And this is key, you don't move on things when you should. I have a tendency to overanalyze because I want to make sure I've covered all the possibilities, right? I've seen all the angles, so to speak. And instead of doing that, this is a good year for me to think about how my rhythm, as someone who does like to analyze and look at things and plan everything, needs a bit of a shakeup so that I take advantage of things faster. Because I don't know if you feel it, but I feel like time, especially the past decade, has just sped up. Now we know that technically time's a construct, we're all living under it. We get that. We understand the physics and the metaphysics of it. But in some very real ways, time has collapsed on us. Things that would normally take a decade or even 2 decades to become part of the zeitgeist, right? Part of the cultural conversation are happening in 2 years. And it's not even just that it's AI. Think about what's happened before AI. Think about the fact that right now, as I was pointing out, we take that smartphone, right? And we have everything on it. And that wouldn't have even been the case 15 years ago. We would never have everything in our phones. It wouldn't even have occurred to us that we would want to do it that way. Now, I am not anti-technology. I didn't give up my phone. It's right here. I didn't give up my phone when I got my calendar. But in the past probably 5 years, I have begun thinking about how connected all the time is not healthy, at least not for me. And so every year, we figure out what we're going to do next. We all do it. Like what I want to accomplish this year. And one of the things I want to accomplish this year is to move with more intention and to move at speed, which seems strange to have slowed down using my technology when technology is supposed to help us move at speed. But here's the thing. Hang on, gotta take a sip of tea. Mm, mm. Technology does help us move at speed, but sometimes it helps us move too fast in directions that we didn't intend to go, right? Like we get like shot out of the cannon because we have all the technology to shoot out of the cannon this direction without realizing, oh, we were like 12 degrees off of where we really wanted to shoot though. So now we got to start all over again. we got to either start all over again or just keep going in that direction and hope for the best. But I think we can slow down a little bit, right? And by making some more deliberate choices with our time, our effort, our energy, our skill sets this year, we can move faster than ever before, but in the right ways for us. So it's the new year. It's the year of the fire horse. It is a year of big changes, lots of energy in the system. For those of you who just got into the conversation, hello to everyone who's out there watching me. I so have missed you all. But one of the things I started this little tea break saying is, you can feel the change of energy in the air. In the southern hemisphere, your days are starting to get incrementally shorter, right? In the northern hemisphere, our days are starting to get incrementally longer. And so as the planet shifts and starts doing its planety shifting thing, we too are shifting. And it's nice to align with some of that energy and use it. And the year of the fire horse is one that promises to bring some pretty interesting energy shifts in the system. Now, excuse me, I do not profess to know all aspects of timing or time or anything, but I do know this. You have control over how your time works. And with the speeding up of time, I would ask you to think about places where you're going to carve out opportunities to step out of time and recharge and regroup, right? Like I said, time has been collapsing rapidly for a decade now. And as we move into this next information age, good morning, Michelle. Gosh, hi, ladies. I've missed all of you. As we move into this next information age, what do you want your life to look like? This is the year to figure that out, right? This is a good year to start thinking, where do I see myself in the coming landscape of the world? Where do I see myself in the culture that's recreating itself in real time around it? So I'm so curious. Do you see the possibilities of going low tech to help you get more out of this year? Or do you think we're on the high tech super highway and that's just the way that we're gonna go? I'm curious because I do think that it's so important to make some different and better decisions this year. This is our next best chapter, remember, right? Women in transition, we're looking at our next best chapter of life, but we do have to start living that chapter. And so, what are the tools that you want to take with you as you move into that? What is the rhythm that you want to embrace this year? What could that look like for you? And have you ever even thought of having the conversation this way? Is this something that you're like, I've never even considered the rhythm of the world, the actual movement of the cosmos as part of my energetic signature here, down here on this little bitty blue planet, third rock from the sun, right? Is that something that you've ever thought about, or you're just like, I don't get it, and that's okay. That's okay. This is this is one of those spaces where we're just having a conversation. Sometimes conversations about things that might make you go, think about it that way. Think about it that way. Yes, throwing us out, thawing out is my rhythm. Oh, Cicely, I'm so sorry. I feel so bad because I'm watching the weather and there's another storm coming. There's another storm coming. We just can't take it. Ah, yes, Caroline is here. Michelle is here. We've missed you. It is the year to figure it out. This is a good year. This is a good year to figure some things out. Last year was the year of the snake. We see how that went. And the energy there was woo, it felt like we were being stung all the time. But the fire horse is asking us to do some very different things and to embrace a different possibility. Hi, Laura. Thank you for joining us. I'm using tech to stay connected while I care for my dad. Yes. Yes, I want to go back to to tech being something fun. It's interesting that you say it about wanting to be in person because I do a podcast. I record a podcast, and this is usually my podcast recording corner. I do all my work here. And I've already started thinking about the future and how I want to be part of a podcast network where I actually have podcast cohorts, people that I am in community with, and that I would love for that to be at least once or twice a month where I'm recording in a communal space with other people. Oddly enough, right? But it's not that odd because we are social creatures. Even though we do like our own time, we do like our own company, we're still social creatures, and sometimes it's easier to get the work done when we have people to work with, people who are on the same playing field with us, who can kind of help us keep going in the direction that we want to go in. So I wish I wasn't so dang tired already. You know what? I feel that one, Michelle. I feel that one. I feel that one. Yeah. I miss the communal space of working with colleagues. I don't know. So I'm a college professor, been doing it for 20 something years. I don't miss being in the classroom. I love the virtual teaching. But what I do miss is my colleagues that I used to be able to hang out with, over lunch and discuss ideas or just talk about life in the academy. And so I do think that there is especially as women, we value community. We value that space of being able to connect energetically with each other and spur each other on to great things without the need for being competitive and tearing each other down, right? Like we're beyond those phases where we needed the society's approval to be who we are. But we do understand that we like each other. Like we're good people and we want to do great things in the world and we want to hang out with other people who also want to do great things in the world. I gave up in I love this. I gave up and waved the white flag. I'm in Florida trying to escape the snow. I thought about you a lot. You and Cicely have been on my mind. I'm just like, please, please let them be okay. Especially because Carolyn, you're upstate, right? So possibility that you're all are gonna get even more snow is coming. Oh, goodness gracious. Goodness gracious. I want to work in my pajamas or lounge pants. Here's the thing. So I agree with you. Um I love working not I love working in my loungers. I have on this lovely sweater right now, and I have a matching pair of pants that goes with it. And I don't think that that's going to go away because we're not necessarily going to re-embrace like y'all pantyhose are making a comeback. I was like, no, no, that is not a thing. I will not be wearing pantyhose again. I grew up in pantyhose. By the way, right? So that's how old I am. But again, collapsing of time. Not that long ago, where I was wearing pantyhose to every event, because as little girls, we had pantyhose and slips, those two things. And I used to have pantyhose that you could still fix with a needle and thread. Because my grandmother was like, we're buying the good ones and we're going to make sure that we keep them. So she could stitch a little, like, that's before they became like those nylon, whatever things, and they just became crappy. Anyway, but I don't think that returning to the communal way of life means you got to get out of your PJs. I think I embrace the idea that I get to create the kind of community where we grow and change and help and support each other. And if you want to wear your overalls or if you want to wear a suit, I don't actually care. I don't actually care. Nope. Not doing it. Oh, y'all are just saying hi to each other everywhere. Well, hello. In-person events are making a comeback, and I think it's because we've been isolated for so long, that it has changed. I think I don't think I know because science is starting to talk about how the isolation post COVID didn't really go away. Like we had to go back out into the world, but our mentality is still very isolated from each other. Technology doesn't help that. We can talk to each other and never actually have to talk to each other and be in community with each other. And that's gonna be okay for a vast majority of people, and it's gonna be something that the other vast majority of people just don't wanna have to they wanna hang out with people again, right? They just wanna hang out with people again, and I don't think there's gonna be room on this playing field for both. For both, right? And, I don't see myself ever wanting to return to the formal classroom. In fact, I don't ever want to return to the formal classroom or to a cubicle and a corner office means nothing to me. I've had them. I've had the corner office. I've had the cubicle. I've had the classroom. I've had them all. No desire to do any of that. But I do have a desire to be in community and to be connected to like-minded community of people. So, I meet with my creator accountability buddies and I meet with my business accountability buddies. And I'm getting ready to open a new community of writers because in my spare time, not that I have any, I'm also a writer and I work on things that are not fiction and things that are not about helping us get to the next best chapter. And I want a community to help keep me on track so I can get these darn books out there that have been burning in my soul, right? And that's the thing about this year. What rhythm are we going to get into that allows us to pursue and fulfill the things that are most important to us at this point in our lives? What are we going to do? How are we going to make that rhythm happen and build a moat around our peace to keep some of cuz y'all, the world has been worlding. The world has been worlding out there. Um Absolutely, patriarchy. Yeah, I am not wearing pantyhose again. I saw those things and I was like, "You have got to be kidding me." I mean, for some women, this is my grandmother never would have been without a pair of pantyhose on. This never would have occurred to her to not wear them. But I didn't grow up in that. I mean, once I was able to get out of them, I'm not going back. Not doing it. But I also love pants and pantsuits, so it wasn't a big deal for me. Um, And that's and that's why I said we have reached a place where we don't have to tolerate mean people in large spaces because it's not necessary. I don't require the energy of large spaces. I require the energy of good people in small community. That's what I want. good people in a place where we all have this, we're of the same accord, even if we're not all working towards the same goal, if that makes sense. And I am I'm very clear about who I am at this point in my life. I am evolving and changing and growing, but there are some parts of me that are very set and understand who I am and what I need. And what I need and what I want to give. So I think that that's a great point. That there's no requirement to be in community with people who are mean to you. In fact, for that reason alone, I love social media because I can simply ignore or block people who I think are just being um, annoying for no reason. For absolutely no reason. So I'm gonna challenge our little group, challenge our little community to see how are you gonna think about the next year. That's as we are at the very beginning of the year of the fire horse. As we're at the very beginning of whether you follow the Gregorian calendar, January 1st, the Chinese calendar, February 17th. Either way, we're here. We're finally into it. Um, how will you figure out your rhythm for the next year? What is it that you want to accomplish? Now's a good time to start thinking about the goals, the dreams, the seeds that you hope become trees by the end of the year, the places that you hope to move on off your plate because they're not important anymore. The places that you hope to bring onto your plate because this is who you want to embrace and become more of this kind of person in 2026, 2027. This is going to be a great year. Now that oops, sorry, my phone rang. I wasn't expecting it. Does that mean there aren't going to be issues? Absolutely not. That's why we have tea time. Because life will be lifing and we'll need a place to go. You all can life out there. And here we're talking about things like energy and gardening and oh, and I watched the Olympics for 2 glorious weeks. I just watched the Olympics. I love the Olympics. I'm not particularly athletic when it comes to the physicality of life. But I do love watching the Olympics. I love watching sports. I love athletes. I think that it's just the height of, physical prowess. And so I loved watching the Olympics. I spent 2 glorious weeks watching the Olympics. Got my kid watching the Olympics. Um, in another week, the Paralympics start. I'll be watching the Olympics again for another 2 weeks, and then we'll be done for another 2 years. But when you think about the noise of the world out there, I really hope that there are places right now that you're also finding joy. That you're finding like watching the Olympics brings us a lot of joy. It brings me a lot of joy. I'm hoping to pass the joy down to my kiddo. We'll see if that happens. But I loved the opening ceremony. The closing ceremony was kind of boring, but the opening ceremony was beautiful and it was fun and it was very creative and theatrical. Though I don't know, France is up next. Hmm. Should be interesting. But so all the pageantry, the theatrics that go along with this kind of thing, I enjoy. I enjoy it. I embrace it. I'm really happy for the athletes. It's the biggest stage of their lives to be able to compete in front of all of these people on this international stage against all of these other amazing athletes, and sometimes they win, sometimes they lose, right? But they're there. They made it further than a lot of other people do, and so I really appreciate people who embrace the process of getting to something like the Olympics. Oh, the flower show starts on February 28th. I'm hoping that you all are dug out and it's all clear and there's no snow. I'm so worried about my New York friends right now. My New York, my Philly, my New Jersey. I have family in New Jersey. Like I have friends on Long Island and I was like, "Are you safe?" And she's like, "I can't open the door." I can't store. Luckily, she dug out this morning as well. So I'm so concerned because there's another round of snow coming, and I don't know that the stuff that's there now is going to have time to really get moved out of the way before the next round comes. And I don't know. The weather is also weathering. The weather is doing the weather thing. So I am in the Midwest. We have weather that can't make up its mind. We have weather that doesn't really understand what's going on with itself. So it was 19 degrees 2 days ago. It is 53 degrees today. That's the weather in my neck of the woods. So Carolyn, I'm coming to Florida with you because I don't like it either. I'd rather either have the snow or have it warm. Like this whole okay, today it's 19 degrees, tomorrow it's 70. We're all gonna be sick in 3 days. It's just crazy. I know that new system is coming on Friday. I'm worried for my East Coast friends. I'm just worried for my East Coast friends. The world is whirling. Laura, the world is whirling. When the world starts whirling, you just got to have some places that you can step out of it, right? You got to have some spots where you're like, okay, the world is whirling. I'm going to close the door now. Closing the door. I'll get back to it. Because here's the thing about the world whirling, it doesn't stop just because I check out. So for the 2 weeks where I don't watch the news, I don't watch commentary, except around the Olympics, and all the stuff happens, right? Stuff keeps happening. Guess what? Nobody missed me. Nobody missed my commentary for the 2 weeks I didn't care that the world was whirling. They didn't, and nobody missed it. And then I step back into it and stick my foot into it, and people get mad at me, and you know, that takes care of that. Oh, yes, yes. The bobsled. Oh my gosh. Loved the bobsled, the gold medal for Elena and her story and meeting her family. I mean, they just open their world up so that people can see who they are and how much they work so hard for what they're trying to do. And that's why I said I really love um the I love the Olympics because and I love most competitive sports. I do like watching sports. I'm a huge tennis fan. Huge tennis fan. You want to know where I am 4 times a year? Watching one of the Grand Slam Opens. One of the Grand Slam Opens. I'm there. I am listening to Australian Open radio in the middle of the night, trying to keep up because I got to sleep. I'm up at the crack of dawn so I can watch the French Open with Roland Garros. I am trying to figure out how to get my strawberries and cream so I can watch Wimbledon, right? And then I am rocking with the US Open. So 4 times a year, you know where to find me. Somewhere near an open, either on my television or on my phone. And if I can get into the stands, I'd be in the stands. But the stories are so at the Olympics, the stories are even better, right? And at the Olympics, I was telling my son this. At the Olympics, you your best day, if you made it to the Olympics, you're already an amazing athlete. Amazing athlete. But they make such a big deal when a mom, like Elena, when a mom comes and wins, when you're when a man who's 44 goes out and wins, the half pipe because he's 44. Like I tell my son, at the Olympics, everybody's equal because you're good enough to be there. Period. So if you win, that's even better. But you were good enough to be there, regardless of how old you are or what your circumstances are, or like that the cross country skier from Haiti, right? First athlete from Haiti to do cross country skiing in the Winter Olympics. You were there. You were there. It's such a cool. It's so cool. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I have a new creation for the Winter Olympics. Well, you need some skis. Skis or a bobsled. We got to get you some skis. Definitely got to get you some skis. Yeah, her story is amazing. Elena's story is amazing. Just son of yeah, it's really heartwarming. Really heartwarming. I will take 52 degrees. 52 degrees in Central Florida. So you and I, Carolyn, are sharing weather. It is 53 degrees and super windy today. But we're sharing weather. It is supposed to get up to 70 here by Friday. So that's and I think we're supposed to get some rain. So we're supposed to get like sideswiped by the storm that's moving towards the East Coast, and it's supposed to be rain for us. But this is the thing, like it's supposed to be 70 on Friday, but by Sunday we're supposed to be in the 20s again. Again, we're all gonna be sick around here in a week. We're just all gonna be sick around here in a week. All right, ladies, this has been fantastic. As always, I've missed you all so much. Thank you for hanging out with me. I do have to run, as you know, I kind of the world might be worlding, and we have created a space around it for a bit, but we got to get back to it. Hang on, it's 90 in Phoenix. It is too hot. It is too hot. Um, 90 in Phoenix? Wow, that is really too warm. So as much as I love the fact that we are not in the deep throes of winter here, I do recognize the world's gonna world. We're gonna have water issues. Absolutely gonna have some water issues. So yeah. You didn't look crazy. You did what you had to do to get so that the branches wouldn't split. You did what you had to do. You definitely did what you had to do. All right, I have to run. Ladies, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It's been amazing as always. I will see you all next week. You know that new videos drop on Thursdays, but new ones are also dropping as we move into this week because my plan for the year of the horse is to take really good advantage of my ox, my ox energy, and make some big moves and work some big plans. Hopefully, you all will do the same. Take care, everyone. I'll see you next week. Have a good one. Bye for now.